Hi, I'm Reverend Tom Kearns. Welcome to 333 Magic 9, where the tarot cards and the astrology stars come together to help you. 2024 is going to be an exciting year with a lot of change and a lot of opportunity. And here's the energy that will be coming at you. I hope you will like this video and also press the little bell for notifications when my new videos come out. Taurus, the tarot card for the first quarter is the Fool. It shows a young man who is headed for the future. He is traveling with only a staff over his shoulder and a rose in his hand. On his staff is a small bag that contains what he needs. There's a small dog at his feet that represents instinctive guidance. He is looking to the sky, showing future potential, but he may lack practicality. Now, as we look down into the astrology, January suggests that you must be careful the first week as there are squares from Mercury and Venus to Saturn and Neptune, and that can bring some confusion, especially with joint finances and friends or business associates. Now, Uranus will go direct on the 27th in your first house, and so that can help you express your true personality, but don't be too stubborn or willful. The Sun will conjunct Pluto in Aquarius on the 20th up in your 10th house, and that may expose some secret career politics. Ooh, watch out for power plays. Now, February will start nice, but does get bumpy as Mars will come and conjunct Pluto on the 14th. So do not use manipulation in your career. Big opportunities may be coming your way, though. The 22nd through the 25th may find you focused on important work projects. Now, as we move into March, it starts with a bang as Venus will be squaring Uranus in your first house. Now, you do have to be a little careful with how you act, but you should have a little extra charisma. Now, Mars up in the 10th house now will square Uranus as well. And that can really be a little disruptive in your career activity, so be careful. And Neptune and Saturn in Pisces and your 11th house can help bring a little bit of extra camaraderie at social gatherings, but you must use common sense. Now, the tarot card for the second quarter is the Knight of Cups. It shows a man in armor seated upon a white horse. He extends a cup before him, and his helmet signifies imagination, and there is water behind him. It suggests inspiration, creativity, and emotion. You may receive an offer that has a positive emotional impact, maybe concerning love and romance. Now, as we look into April, a total solar eclipse and Mercury will be retrograde in your 12th house, and that can bring some psychological challenges, so be careful. Romance can come from networking as Venus and Mars will conjunct Neptune up in your 11th house, but who knows where that goes. There are powerful personal changes coming when Jupiter will conjunct Uranus in your first house. That's going to be one of the most important times of the whole year because the Sun will also square Pluto. And make sure you stay in control around the 20th. Now, as we go into May, Mars will be in your 12th house, and he will energize your inner spirit on the 1st. But Pluto will warn you to watch your social contacts. Be a little bit careful. The Sun and Venus will conjunct Uranus in the first house, so be careful with your actions because Mercury will also conjunct Uranus, and that can help you put a foot in your mouth. So don't do that, especially if you're moving and thinking too fast. And Jupiter will now be in Gemini. And Jupiter in Gemini may push you to increase your spending. Now, June will start with messages just flying all over the place. And this may become a challenge when difficult energies all move down into your third house. So Saturn will turn retrograde at the end of the month up in your 11th house. So that demands you reevaluate what you're doing with networking and social connections. The tarot card for the third quarter is the Death card. It suggests the ever-changing cycles of nature with endings becoming new beginnings. Your world is changing, but it's also full of new potential. Don't let yourself be stuck in the past. Keep the faith, go through the changes, and move to the future. Now, as we look into the third quarter, July, Neptune joins Saturn retrograde in your 11th house. And that can create confusion in any type of social or business networking. Venus and Mercury will make conversations more exciting, but Mars will conjunct Uranus, and that will be on the 1st, followed by a square from Mercury in your 4th house, and that can shake up a family member and your sense of personal security, so be aware. In August, Mercury goes retrograde in your 5th house, so that can disrupt any romance or creative projects. Mid-month is volatile as Mars in the 2nd house will be squared to Saturn, and he is in the 11th house. And if you spend too wildly because Jupiter is also around, you will make mistakes and Saturn may ask you to pay. Now, as we go into September, the Sun moves into Virgo, and that is in your 5th house. He does create some romantic problems as people tend to be a little bit critical. Be especially aware around the lunar eclipse in the 11th house on the 18th, and that can agitate people's emotions. So be extra careful when networking with sensitive people. Now, the tarot card for the 4th quarter is the Four of Wands. This is one of the happiest cards in the tarot deck. It combines the energy of the 4, which represents positive energy on the material plane, and with the wands, which represent happiness and expression. This suggests a good time for success in material and spiritual concerns. There may be a nice romance or even a marriage around you. Now, as we look down into October, Jupiter goes retrograde in your 2nd house of money, causing you to rethink your budgets and investments. And Pluto goes direct up in the 9th house, which will help you gain understanding of your deeper ambitions. And there will be a grand trine in water signs with many mixed aspects, and that will keep everyone's emotions flowing. So join them and go with the flow. As November comes around, tension is in the air as Mars in the 3rd house will oppose Pluto in the 9th, warning of power struggles due to misunderstanding. This is followed by the Sun, now in the 7th house, in opposition to Uranus in the 1st house. So watch your relationships. Don't be too willful. And Mercury goes retrograde in the 8th house, so do watch joint investments and be careful with your passions. Now, as we move into December, Mars will go retrograde in your 4th house. So that tells you to be a little bit aware of families members and their needs. And then Neptune will go direct in the 11th house, and that can bring some good networking opportunities. Venus, up in the 10th now, will oppose Mars in the 4th, suggesting that you need to balance your energy between home and family and your career responsibilities. I'd like to thank you for watching. I'd like to thank you for listening. Please like my videos and share them with your friends. And remember, this is the best time to prepare for 2024 with a private psychic and spiritual reading or a natal transit astrology chart. And you can order them at my website, professorastrology.com. And I hope you have a fabulous new year.